rose up, call up an army against Babylon. Wave your hand to encourage them. Wave your hand to encourage them. As they march into the palaces of the high and mighty. I, the Lord, have dedicated these soldiers for this task. Yes, I have called mighty warriors to express my anger. Yes, I have called mighty warriors to express my anger. And they will rejoice when I am exalted.
Hello, good afternoon. Happy Good News Friday. Gotten through another week, and we're here in the month of September, which, as regular listeners know, is a special month for me because this is the month that I fast. I am fasting not, I'm trying to do a little more stringent of a fast than I thought I would do, but I'm essentially fasting from wheat. I am fasting from any time-wasting games on my phone, and I am fasting from sugar, junk food, cheese, kind of all the stuff that you know you probably shouldn't eat. So I would say it's probably, rather than say what I'm not eating, I should say what I am eating, which is fruits, vegetables, meat, and rye. That's my only grain. And that's pretty much it. I'm also having coffee. I have a little splash of milk in my coffee because without that, it's not very good. And for sweetener, I'm using stevia. I'm going to talk this hour about fasting, about some of the practical elements of fasting that you can incorporate. But one of the things I've talked about on the show quite a bit, actually, is the healthfulness or lack thereof of artificial sweeteners. We know that most artificial sweeteners are really, really bad for you. The one that most people don't know, or many people don't know, is erythritol. Erythritol is incorporated into almost every keto diet. You see right on the package, good for keto diets. Almost every sweet that is in the keto diet sort of section of your supermarket. You want to stay away from that because it is really bad for you. In fact, the erythritol, when they do they do studies, and within literally 15 minutes of eating it, you are damaging cells in your brain. It is that bad. So it's not just one of those foods that's unhealthy, like don't eat it, like don't eat fatty foods, and stay away from red meat and stay away from cream and all those kinds of things. It's not like that. It's actually like stay away from ingesting ant poison. Like that's probably not good for you. Or don't drink bleach. Certain foods have an immediate, certain substances, we call them poisons, have an immediate negative effect on the human body. And erythritol is not only not a food, it's not only not good for you food, it's not a food, it's a poison. So stay away from that one. Now, with that said, I'm going to tell you that I love my stevia. In fact, I have a little stevia plant growing outside my garage, and every day when I walk by, I grab one of the leaves and chew on it. I also have some mint, and I do the same thing. Stevia is surprisingly healthy. So just because something comes from a plant doesn't mean it's healthy. We know this from the guar gums, the xanthan gum. Does that come from a plant? I don't think so. Carrageenan, that's an Irish moss. Guar gum, that's from the guar bean. All of those gels and emulsifiers and gums that I've been talking about on the show come from natural sources, but they're really bad for you. Stevia, on the other hand, so I guess the rule is if it comes from a natural source, doesn't necessarily mean it's okay. But in the case of stevia, they've actually found positive health benefits. And I'm crossing my fingers that new research does not turn up to show otherwise, because I really like it. I'll have to bring it into the studio one of these times and show you. The one that I get, it's very concentrated. It only takes, I'd say, like a half a teaspoon to sweeten an entire gallon of tea. It's very, very sweet, and I just love it. And it's good for you. Like, not only not bad for you, but like a health food. It's actually really good for you. So cut back on the sugar. I recorded vignettes last night, and those are those little 90-second things you hear before every show with my little story and the research and the cute little snippets of funny stuff. The one I recorded last night said that we eat 80 pounds of sugar. By we, I mean the average American. Hopefully not you, hopefully not me. But the average American eats 80 pounds of sugar a year. And the next line in that research said, and that's double, that's twice the amount the recommended daily allowance, or, times a full year. And I thought, you got to be kidding me. Like, it's okay to eat 40 pounds of sugar a year. So regardless of how much sugar you think you should eat or don't eat, we all probably need to cut back. And what I found surprising in the research that that vignette was based on is that the main culprit in Americans' diets, and we have one of the highest rates of sugar consumption in the world, the main culprit, surprisingly, is not candy, it's not dessert, it's not snacks, it's drinks. We are drinking 80 pounds of sugar a year, drinking it. If you go into the gas station, supermarket, the 7-Eleven, and you get yourself a big gulp, how many, I shudder to think how many tablespoons of sugar are in that. The place where we are consuming sugar is in the soft drinks that we drink. The other place that really surprised me was the amount of sugar that people put in their coffee. When you want your coffee sweet, do not add sweet and low. Don't add, the blue stuff, the Nutra, whatever that stuff is. Add stevia. It's really good. You can get it in little green packets you can start in. At first, you'll be like, it doesn't taste like sugar. But over time, you'll get used to it. I actually have a big cup of iced coffee right here. Big glass of iced coffee. While I'm fasting, it has a splash of milk and a little bit of stevia, and it's pretty sweet and really tasty. So let's all make a pledge to cut back on the amount of sugar that we're eating. And with that said, now let me talk about my fast. So the reason I talked about, this is like part 2 of a fasting two-part series, I guess. I talked yesterday about fasting and about the benefits of fasting, the mental benefits of fasting. Going into ketosis, depriving your body of carbohydrates, puts your brain into a super sharp state of acuity, of ability to resolve problems, because your body is telling your brain, well, your body's just saying, help, we're going to starve, we're not going to survive if food doesn't come soon. So obviously our normal levels of brain function are insufficient to save our lives right now in this food shortage. So after about 3 days, your body goes out of what is called glucosis. That's the state we're all in every day as we eat carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. There we go. It goes out of that state after about 3 days, goes into a state of ketosis where it is functioning on sort of a backup battery system. More like the power goes out and you flip on the generator. It's a backup system. And it functions by burning fats in your body, the fat that you have stored for just such a purpose as this. It burns them and turns them into energy units known as ketones. And they have a really powerful effect on the brain. So it's a good idea periodically, I would say, once or twice a year, to see if you can kick your body into ketosis. Our ancestors were, they did not remain in glucosis their whole lives for the most part, unless they were, living in palaces and very wealthy. Because in the past, people had periodic periods of hunger. You might be out, get caught in a snowstorm. You couldn't make your way back. I don't know. There's probably lots of reasons why. Maybe you just ran out of food, or maybe in the wintertime, this is probably the more common one, maybe in the wintertime you had not prepared or stored away enough starches and carbohydrates to get through the winter. And so our ancestors in the wintertime, if they were eating fish and meat and proteins and very little in the way of carbohydrates, maybe some greens, but those don't have many carbs, then they would kick into ketosis probably all winter. And it would be good for them because that extra sharp brain, that extra intelligence would serve them well to get through the winter. So that's the physical advantage to it. I've also talked a little bit about the spiritual advantages. I feel like the connection between me and God is just, well, I won't say between me and him, it's probably on my part. I feel like whatever that connection is less blocked when I'm fasting. Like there is a fog that clears. and a greater clarity. I feel like I understand Scripture better. I feel like my prayers are deeper, more meaningful. They are, I pray differently. I think I pray like maybe it's my sharp brain. I just pray better. So there's spiritual benefits, there are physical benefits, and when we come back, I want to talk about some of the medical benefits as well. And then I'm going to give you some practical tips of how to make this somewhat difficult thing called fasting doable. All right, I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht. I'll be right back.
Programs free, companies use them as bait to lure people into their system so they can scan their data and sell them to advertisers. It's like a hotel giving out free rooms so they can film people sleeping and then sell the video. You'd never agree to that. StartMail restores your privacy. No one but you sees your sensitive data, and it costs less than a postage stamp a week. StartMail.com. It's email you can trust. Your email is your business, but if it's spied on, hacked, or intercepted, it can fall into the wrong hands. The solution is encryption, a high-tech way to scramble your data so no one can read it. For years, only the technical elite could use this powerful tool until StartMail came along. StartMail not only lets you encrypt the email you send, it encrypts your entire account. Encryption. It's just one more way StartMail.com keeps you safe.
I will go before you and level the mountains. I will go before you, level the mountains. I will smash down gates of bronze and cut through bars of iron. I will smash down. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming from this time forth and forevermore. From this time forth and forevermore. From this time forth and forevermore. From this
Catherine Albrecht here.
time
So let me talk about the benefits of chemotherapy from a medical chemotherapy. So boy, I jumped ahead of myself. The benefits of fasting for medical purposes. And I have in front of me a study about chemotherapy. I went through breast cancer treatment actually twice, once in 2011 and again in 2015. And I went through the full range of surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, you name it, I did it all. And when I discovered this research from Walter Longo, Professor Dr. Walter Longo, who's been a guest on my program before, I discovered his research that showed that fasting before chemotherapy not only reduces or even eliminates the side effects, but it also makes the chemotherapy more effective. All right, I have in front of me, hang on, walterlongo.com. It's Walter, but with the letter V like Victor. I have his website up here, A Better Quality of Life and Less Fatigue, new evidence of the benefits of fasting through chemotherapy. Now, this is research he has been doing for years, and he discovered that the body goes into a very different physiological state when it has no food. The changes in the body, which are not just the brain changes I was talking about from the ketosis, but the changes in the body make it far more receptive to chemotherapy treatment. Let me explain why. Let me read this. Every year, 8.8 million people worldwide die of cancer. And although the recovery rates are increasing, it's estimated that this will reach 13 million people by 2030. Recently, the journal BMC Cancer published the results of a clinical trial confirming the benefits of fasting on the quality of life for women diagnosed with breast and ovarian cancer and undergoing chemotherapy, specifically the ability of fasting to alleviate fatigue. Now, this is new. When I did this, it was the ability of fasting to just help you survive the chemo, take away those awful side effects. So this one is on fatigue. Team of researchers from the Krankenhaus Center at the Freie University in Berlin. All right. Today, chemotherapy, along with radiation and surgery, is the most effective treatment to fight cancer. However, cancer patients have long weighed the effectiveness of chemotherapy with its heavy toll on the quality of life, and that is true. As such, modern medicine is beginning to pay greater attention to experimental therapeutic approaches, and one is fasting and what are known as fasting mimicking diets, which have produced promising results in basic research and clinical trials. This one had 34 patients fast. They were, average age was 51 years. These were women with breast and ovarian cancer. Here's the fasting regime, same one I did, for 36 hours before the chemotherapy cycle, so 24 hours in a day, so it's like a day and a half. I would generally start like 48 hours before, about 2 days beforehand, and ending 24 hours after. So under this regimen, you go 2.5 days without food. The fasting regime was administered in two forms. The first group underwent a fasting mimicking diet. He calls it FMD in the initial phase of chemo, while the second group fasted in the final stage. And during that fasting mimicking diet, they were allowed 350 calories per day. And what they found, hang on, let me get to the results here. I know what I found in the results of my study. And they found that these guys didn't get tired. Yeah, well, so there are many benefits to fasting. Let me talk about some of the ones I just know off the top of my head. Cancer cells eat sugar. Cancer cells, I'm going to repeat that. Cancer cells eat sugar, and specifically glucose. They are voracious. If there is glucose in your body and there are cancer cells in your body, you can be guaranteed that those cancer cells are going to be eating that glucose like gangbusters and using that glucose to fuel their growth so that the cancer cells will grow and grow and grow, multiply. And that is pretty much the definition of a cancer cell, is an out-of-control cell that is not regulated by the body, not self-regulated, eating voraciously and multiplying insanely. That's why they turn into lumps, because cells grow and grow and grow. You get more and more of them. When you fast and you reduce the amount or eliminate the amount of glucose in your body, a couple things happen. The cancer cells, first of all, they start going nuts. They start looking for sugar. One of the tests, if you guys have heard of a PET scan, one of the tests that they do for cancer is you don't even need to fast for this. They take a radioactive tracer, they put it into a glucose solution, and they put it in your body. They inject it into you, IV it into you, they get it in your body. And as it runs around through your body, now remember, this is sugar, the cancer cells are like, yippee, sugar, and they grab it in large quantities. And then they do the body scan, and they simply look for radioactive areas of the body that are lighting up, because those are the places where that radioactive glucose was consumed massively by those cancer cells. So that is how that's how a PET scan works, and it works because of that phenomenon of those cancer cells voraciously seeking sugar or glucose. Now, if you are fasting and you have cancer, the regular cells in your body can get by on ketones. They'll figure out, your body knows, your body has a well built-in system that's been around forever that knows exactly what to do when the nutrition shuts off. It switches over to ketosis. But the cancer cells oftentimes cannot figure that out. So it's not only useful to fast before chemotherapy, but it is useful to fast overall periodically to prevent cancer. Right, and this brings me to the second point. So when you fast, during that first 3 days, and I talked about this yesterday, the first 3 days of a fast, you will feel incredibly hungry. Your brain, your body, your entire being will be screaming at you to eat. So from morning until night, there is no rest for the person fasting the first 3 days, because they are hungry. And it takes a tremendous amount of willpower to stay on a fast for those 3 days. And I know a number of people who've said, oh yeah, I've fasted before, but I could only do it 2 days. Well, those of us who have fasted longer know the secret. And the secret is, after those 3 days, your body says, oh, not going to get the food. It's pointless making her feel hungry. It's pointless driving her nuts seeking food, because there isn't any. So let's try the backup system, go into ketosis, and just sharpen her brain so she can find food that way. So the fasting, that that sense of starving, that sense of being very, very hungry, doesn't last very long. So if you talk to people who fasted and you ask them, what was your experience fasting? They will either say, it was the worst thing I ever did because I quit before 3 days. Or they will say, at first it's pretty hard, but then it gets really easy. And in fact, it gets so easy that you can actually forget you're doing it. You can, after a couple of days, I'd say after 4, 5, 6 days on a fast, you remember periodically, oh yeah, that's right, there's food. I need to get some food. But for the most part, your body is not craving food. You can just kind of cruise in that state for quite a bit of time. Regarding cancer cells, there's one more thing I want to say about cancer cells and glucose. Now, I had, for people who know this, in 2011, I was diagnosed with stage 3C locally advanced breast cancer. It had, locally advanced means that it had gotten up into my lymph nodes under my arm and was just at the point of breaking through and becoming metastatic and spreading throughout my body. During that period, I did the whole thing. I did fasting. I did chemotherapy, radiation. We knocked it back, and it was gone. Then it returned in 2015, and it went into my brain, and I had to have 11-hour neurosurgery. And I know longtime listeners probably think I didn't survive that, or probably, well, now you know I did. But there was a time when a lot of people thought that I didn't survive that, because most people don't. At least back then. It's getting better now. They have better treatments. But it is expected that if you have metastatic breast cancer that has gone into your nervous system, especially into your brain, that usually people don't last very long. All right. Now, the thing I want to talk about is that between the first round of cancer and the second round of cancer, with regard to fasting and glucose, I was on a clinical trial. I was living in New Hampshire. I was on a clinical trial in New York City at Cornell Breast Center. And that's about a 4-hour drive. Was it 4 hours straight there? I think it was 4 hours to Connecticut, and then I'd take the train. Anyway, I was in the car for 4 hours every time, and I had to go back and forth every month for the clinical trial so they could draw my blood and give me more of the substance that they were testing, which, by the way, cured cancer. It cures cancer, but the FDA's banned it. That's a whole other story. During those 4 hours, I did a really stupid thing. During those 4 hours, I would take my cell phone, and back then the antennas on cell phones were even emitting even more radiation than they are now, or they pick it up from the tower and they emit it back to the tower, and I would hold that thing right next to my head for 4 hours. When I would return home, it would usually be late, and I would get on the phone with my mom. and she would keep me awake. And I would be driving 4 hours with the phone next to my head. Now, most of us have one side of our head that we hold the phone to, and then if our ear gets tired or maybe our hand gets tired, we'll switch it over to the other side, but just briefly, and then we'll switch it back because we have like one ear that's dominant. Well, when the cancer spread to my brain, it spread to my brain in precisely the location where the antenna of my phone was, in exactly the proportional size of each tumor to how long I had held the cell phone next to my head. Now, what do we know? We know that cell phone radiation causes glucose to move into the area of the brain that it is at. So what was I doing? I was basically giving any cancer cells a free meal for 4 hours on my way to cancer treatment. Crazy. All right, stay tuned.
Is your email box overrun with spam? With a StartMail account, you'll never have to give your real email address to a stranger again. Online shopping, newsletter subscriptions, getting that 30% off coupon, they all need your email address. But with StartMail, you can invent new addresses or aliases linked to your inbox behind the scenes and give those out to people while keeping your real address hidden. It's just one more protection from StartMail.com.
Red alert, Yahoo users. You've fallen in a trap that could ruin your life if you keep using Yahoo.
You consent to sharing all data in your email account with our AI providers, and you grant us a perpetual license to use, display, publish, and publicly distribute your content in any media known now or in the future, and to let other users access and distribute it as well.
Yikes. It's time to switch to StartMail, the only email that's AI-free and private by design. StartMail.com. Use promo code JD.
For I have chosen you, don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will hold you up. I will hold you up. For I've chosen you, don't be afraid, for I'm with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will hold you up. I will hold you up. With my victorious right. Victorious right, I will hold you up. I will hold you up with my victorious right hand.
Dwell in the shelter, the shadow of Shaddai, of the Almighty. I'll say my refuge, my fortress, my God in whom I trust. You will deliver me. Every hidden trap that leads disease, you will be my shield, you will cover me. Your arms wrap around me under feathers of majesty. I know that I'm perfectly safe under your wings, under your wings, under your wings. I know that I'm perfectly safe.
All right, I could listen to that like all afternoon, but that's Rianne, R-I-A-N. I wish she had more music out there. There's only half a dozen songs by her on scripture songs, and not a lot else we can find. We have invited her onto the show. I will let you know. You'll be the first to know if she says yes. All right, so talking about fasting, talking about using your cell phone, I guess. I got my cell phone right here. All right, there is a basketball-sized sphere of radiation around the antenna of your cell phone that probably should not be near anything important, like your brain, like your reproductive organs, ladies, like your breasts. This is why it's a great thing that we have Bluetooth devices, that we have corded headsets, that we have other ways to listen to sound on our phones than what I was doing, which is holding it right up to my head. It was, I don't think it was a coincidence that the tumors that developed in my brain when I was highly susceptible to a recurrence of the breast cancer just so happened to be located right exactly there. And in that 11-hour neurosurgery that I had, my incredible surgeon, I mean, she was just amazing to be doing that for 11 hours, my surgeon used kind of like a joystick and sort of went in and very, very carefully maneuvered around my brain and took both of them out. And here I am. I survived. So I guess the lesson to that, there's a couple lessons to that. Number one is don't hold a cell phone up to an area that might get cancer. The cell phone in and of itself, as far as we know, doesn't cause cancer. But what we do know is that it causes glucose to rush to the area that is being affected by that radiation. And if that is your brain, if that is your prostate gland, if that is your breast, then that's not a good thing. Because if there are cancer cells in there, they will be stimulated. They'll get lots and lots of food. So I learned that one the hard way. Now, talking about benefits of fasting with regards to cancer, one of the processes that happens when your body is not getting food, so this is during those 3 really hungry, really miserable days when you're like, food, okay. Your body goes into a process called autophagy, right? This is a great combination of letters. Auto meaning the self, phagy meaning eating. So your body goes into, I guess you could translate that as sort of eating itself. But your body is not going to eat healthy tissue. Your body isn't going to eat blood cells and isn't going to tap into muscle or do any of that. What your body eats first are damaged cells. So the process of going without food, that feeling of hunger, that feeling of fasting, will stimulate it. It means that your body is being stimulated into that hungry place, and that hungry place, if it goes on long enough, will result in your body going on kind of a cleaning expedition. It's sort of like if you're really hungry and there's not much left in your kitchen, and you wouldn't normally eat that stuff anyway because ew, but if you're really hungry and there's a snowstorm, you can't get outside, then you'll go through your fridge. You'll go through and eat the things that maybe you didn't really want to eat in the back of your cupboard. You might make, you might make that instant oatmeal that you forgot about and haven't touched in a year because you're hungry. So that's what the body does. When it's hungry and no food is coming, it goes, okay, well, I better look around and get something to eat. And it will consume damaged cells. Now, damaged cells, we all have them. Everyone listening to this program has cancer cells in their body. We all do. It is, a cancer cell is defined as a cell that's just run a little bit amok. It's damaged. It's not functioning correctly. For most of us, the body's immune system goes through and kills that cancer cell. It goes, it says, you're not normal, boom, kill. The people who develop cancer are developing cancer either because they have too many of those cells for the body to effectively destroy, or because those cancer cells have found a way to outsmart the body's immune system. But autophagy is actually pretty efficient because if you're starving, your body is going to be very, very efficient in looking for sources of food. So fasting not only is good for chemotherapy in people who know they have cancer, it's also good as a cancer preventative. So periodically, and I would say a couple times a year, maybe once a quarter, it would be a really good idea to go a couple days without food. Now, if you can't get past that first 3 days, even if you can just go a day, your body is engaging in that autophagy. If you are super rich, you can go to Switzerland. There are spas that are like $20,000 a week, these insane places, and they are medical health spas. And all they do, really, honestly, the only thing they do is have you fast. And they report all these health benefits. Of course, the health benefits aren't coming from their amazing $20,000 a week spa. The health benefits are coming from the fasting. But a lot of people go there even knowing that it's fasting because they will give you the discipline. You're not going to be eating when you're there. You're going to be in a nice, 4-star hotel suite. You're going to be, entertained with pottery classes and massages and who knows what else. But whatever happens, you're not going to be given any food. The food they do give you there is broth. And now I want to talk to you about how I fast, and the broth comes in here. So when I'm going to start a fast, here's the practical way I do it. The very first day is hard. Right? The first day, because you're just used to eating normally, and now you're going to change your diet. So I do not start my fast on the first day. What I do on the first day is I kind of get my body accustomed to the idea that, hey, it's not business as usual. And I do that by eating only liquid. Now, it can be any liquid. It could be a Shake Shack milkshake, although that's not good for me and has too much sugar. But it could be, if I really wanted to have that, I could on the first day of my fast. I can have tomato soup. I can have orange juice. I cannot have a big gulp because you want to avoid huge amounts of corn syrup, basically. That's what's in there. And you probably shouldn't have a Shake Shack milkshake, but you could probably blend up your own milkshake out of, I make kefir, so I could probably have a kefir milkshake with some fruit blended up in it. I could have a banana shake. Anything that you want to have, provided that it's liquid. So I suppose you could even take your chicken noodle soup and blend it up in the blender. So it was liquidy. You could even eat that. So on the first day, I don't care about calories. I don't care about the contents of the liquid other than probably trying to stay away from massive quantities of sugar. And that is day one. Now, day two is when I go, okay, body, you have not had any solid food in 24 hours. It's now time to start the fast. And at that point, I cut out all of the carbs, and I cut out, if I'm doing a real fast, I cut out all the food. There's nothing there at all, other than chicken broth and tea and coffee and stevia. That's it. So that's what my fast consists of. And that puts me into ketosis in about 3 days. So the first couple days you're hungry, third day you're fine, and then after that, sometimes you even forget to eat. Now let me tell you how I make the chicken broth because it's wonderful. And if you have dogs, listen up because this is great food for your pup as well. So when you go to the store, have you noticed that beef is like $15 a pound these days? Like even ground beef is like $8 and $9 a pound depending on where you go. It's getting insane out there. Well, the one meat that is still super cheap are chicken legs. Drumsticks. You can go into pretty much any grocery store in America and you can find chicken drumsticks for anywhere from 99 cents to $1.59 a pound. So I go in to, sometimes I go to Aldi. Aldi has them for like $1.29. I have a kind of a, Middle Eastern market that I go to, 99 cents. And I will buy about $10 worth. So that's a lot of pounds of chicken, right? That's between 8 and 10 pounds of chicken. I have a great big pot, and my stove is a gas burner. I fill the pot with the chicken. I rinse it off. No, you don't have to rinse it, but I rinse it off. I put it in there. Make sure, I've made this mistake before. Make sure you do not accidentally include the little diaper-like thing that they have in there that absorbs the liquid from the chicken because I have had to throw away entire pots of chicken because that thing boiled in there and I didn't want to eat whatever was in there. So make sure you peel that away, rinse off the chicken, put it in there, cover it with water, and bring the water about 2 inches from the top of your pot. And it will probably be this much above the chicken if your pot's big enough. Put it on to boil. So put it on a medium to a high flame, bring it to a boil, and as soon as it boils, turn it down as low as your flame will go without going out. Put a lid on it. My pot is I lost the lid and it's too big, so I put a cookie sheet, just a baking sheet on it. So I put the baking sheet, kind of hold the liquid in, and then I leave it there. And I leave it there for about 24 hours, sometimes even longer. 24 hours will usually do it. So I leave it there overnight. as long as there's water that's like this high above the chicken, you can go to sleep. It's not gonna burn up. You can leave your house for a couple hours and come back and it's still there. It might be boiled down a little bit. Just make sure there's a lot of water in there. At the end of that process, what you will have is bone broth, depending on how long you cook it. You'll have bone broth, really, really good chicken stock. I used to buy it in cartons, and I haven't had to do that in years because it tastes terrible. This chicken stock is super, super delicious. You'll also have a whole bunch of pieces of chicken. And what I love about chicken legs, the bones are super easy to remove. Remove the big bone, throw it away. And inside of each chicken, there's going to be one that's like a, I don't know, like a sewing needle, not a sewing needle. I don't know. It's like a tea needle. There's a needle in there. It's about this long. Make sure you get that out as well. When we come back, I'll tell you how you can feed it to your dog and fast with it. Stay tuned.
I, the Lord, made you, and I will not forget you. I have swept away your sins like a cloud. I, the Lord, made you, and I will not forget you. I have swept away your sins like a cloud. Made you, and I will not forget you. I have swept away your sins like a cloud. I've scattered your offenses like the morning mist. I've scattered your offenses like the morning mist. Oh, return to me. Return to me, oh return to me, for I have paid the price to set you free. For I have paid the price to set you free. Night watchman, how long till daybreak? Night watchman, how long till daybreak? How long will this night last? How long will this night last? Morning's coming, but for now, it's still night.
Hey, I'm back. All right, so I will let you in on a little secret. I'm here in my studio, right? It was May 20th when I got permission from Crossroads Community Church to turn their nursery into a studio, and it's here and it's great. The equipment, Peter and I have spent some time getting it together, and we had a lot of kinks to work out, as listeners know, and a lot of setbacks, but it got done. So everything is running properly, and the secret that I'll let you in on is that I have been simultaneously video streaming this program on YouTube at the very same time that I have been talking on KHNC. So there is a YouTube channel. It is, I believe it's called just Dr. Catherine Albrecht, or Catherine Albrecht Radio Show. It already, mysteriously, for no reason I can discern, has 13 subscribers. I guess people kind of found it. I'm a little embarrassed curious because for the last couple of days, I have been learning how to use the equipment. For the second segment of today's show, for example, my microphone was muted, so people got to see a great view of me talking and could not hear a word I said. I think on one of the days it was set to mono so that people wearing headphones or earbuds only heard me out of one ear. I have had all kinds of problems. The conversations with JD during the breaks, broadcasting out across it. So by no means would I say that I've been ready for prime time. That's why I didn't give it out. Today it was funny because there's someone in there in the chat room saying, "You're muted." I'm like, "You're not supposed to be there." So I think I'm ready. If you want to go check out my experiments, and they haven't been all that great, but you can check them out if you go to YouTube to, I'll tell you the name of them right here. Hang on. Doobie-doobie-doo. Where is it? YouTube. Hang on. Live streaming. Here we go. YouTube. Catherine Albrecht Show. Is that it? And I see a couple people just joined, so I can tell how many people are there. And yeah, it's Catherine Albrecht Show. You can see in the background, this is my studio, Scott Barnes, who is my amazing sort of stylist makeup, who I absolutely expert, who I don't deserve. He's the best makeup artist in the world. He was giving me tips about how to kind of style the background. Oh, and I'm supposed to, hang on, he's going to be upset. I'm supposed to have this, for those of you watching, I'm supposed to have this light right here, aiming at my face at all times. Got all these tips. So I'm learning as I go. You can see me. Oh, no, that's way too bright. Oh. All right, I'll figure all this out. But there are many bells and whistles. It is just me. That's way too bright. I can't handle it. It's just me here in the studio. I am managing simultaneously. Let me see what I'm managing. I'm managing the chat window, right? Catherine-Albrecht.com. You can talk to me there in the chat window. I'm managing that. I am managing the YouTube live stream, which doesn't really involve much. I just kind of turn it on and forget about it. I am managing the camera maintenance program, which, let me make sure that I did it right. I have to turn that on and off. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm muted. See? If you're listening to me in the live stream in YouTube and I was muted, that's why. Learning this as I go. I have the ability to switch, if people are watching me there, to please stand by or be right back, and then back to my face. So that's a little thing I have to click. Yeah, so I'm managing all of these things in addition to trying to just do a radio program and talk coherently on a subject while managing all of the equipment and the microphone and the headset and the lighting and all of this. But I think I got it. I think I've been doing this for, I think today's day 5. Yeah, it's labeled. So today's experimental day 5. I think day 1 was so bad I deleted it. So I think you'll just see 2, 3, 4, and 5. But on Monday, am I ready to do this? I'm not going to commit. I'm going to sort of commit. On Monday, I will sort of commit to launch. Officially. I went, so I have not been using my Facebook account, but it has 9,500 subscribers that have stuck with me through the 7-year period of my disappearance. These are people who used to be followers back in the day, and they're there. So I will be announcing this on Facebook. I will let people know that they can find a live stream of this radio program every Monday through Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. on this YouTube channel. And I encourage you guys to stop by and check it out. You can also see I did an interview with Twyla Brace from, we talked about Real ID. She's an old friend of mine and fabulous activist. But you can see a Zoom interview that we did on there as well. It's about 30 minutes long. I did not know what I was doing at that time, but we managed to pull it off. So you can learn about Real ID, her fight against it. Just lots of stuff going on. All right, so here I am, and I think I'm ready to do it. Bear with me and be kind, because I have been doing radio since, 2005, a long time. I've been doing radio, 2008, I think. I've been doing radio for a long time, and I have not been doing video for more than a couple days. So I'm still learning the equipment, and I will do my level best to make it, every day and be broadcasting here on YouTube. Yeah. All right, so let me get back to fasting and making chicken. It's so great. I have a 110-pound German Shepherd, and he, at this point, is an older dog. He's 10 years old, has a lot of joint problems, and I had to switch from commercial dog food to a better commercial dog food, which is Science Diet. It's $100 for a bag. It's very expensive. I supplement that with this chicken, and he has been so much healthier. His coat is better. He gets around better. He feels healthier. He feels better. So I take the chicken. Okay, last time when we last left our heroine, she had a big container of chicken. You turn off the flame, leave the cookie sheet on top, let it cool off for a couple hours, and then pour the broth into jars. I have gallon canning jars in my fridge that are full of broth for my dog and for me. That is what I drink and eat when I'm fasting. I add salt, I add pepper as much as I want. I can add spices, but I'll caution you, if you add spices or soy sauce, which you can do on a fast, you may get diarrhea. Right? So just keep that in mind. So salt, pepper, chicken broth as much as I want. I can have chicken broth morning until night if I want to, and as much liquid as I want. Tea, coffee, no milk, stevia. And that's it. And you can go in and you can get like celestial seasonings like red zinger and lemon zinger and all those tasty things. You can have this too. So you can have a big pitcher of that. Just don't add any carbs. The one thing I screwed up on one time was I had cinnamon tea. We take cinnamon and pour boiling water over it and make cinnamon tea. That is full of carbs. I had no idea. Absolutely no idea. But I broke my fast drinking cinnamon tea. So don't do that. Yeah. All right, so when you've got your chicken and it's cooled off, take each leg out, put it in a bowl, pull out the big bone, make sure to find the little bone and pull it out. And then when you're done, take all of that with some broth and stick it in your fridge. I have, I've put it in Tupperware before. I've put it in various things, but what I'm doing right now, I have just it's actually the inside of an Instant Pot, It's the Instapot innard. And it is full of that chicken and that broth. And I just scoop out, give it to my dog. I add some kefir and I add some quick cooking oatmeal. And stir it all up. I add his supplements, which if people are interested, I'd be happy to do a show on the amazing supplements that have helped my dog so much that I add to that. I stir it all up. And I add kefir. Kefir, which I make on my counter. I could do a show on that too. I have kefir grains, so I put them in milk, stick them on the counter, forget about them, and I add that in there as well. So that's my dog. He gets his big bowl of tasty chicken broth, kefir, oatmeal, and supplements every day. And I get to take advantage of all that wonderful chicken broth during my fast. So that's my fast. Now, if you want to stay in ketosis and you're struggling with the fast part of it, you're struggling with the not eating anything but chicken broth, and you're going to eat something, don't eat a carb. Do not have bread. Do not have a piece of fruit. Do not have a potato. Have meat. Right? This is how the keto diet works. If you're going to go on a keto diet to lose weight, your body will remain in ketosis, burning fat for its energy instead of glucose, provided you don't give it any glucose. But if you eat some carbs, if you have a piece of bread, just maybe you're 5 days into the fast, you're like, I can't handle it, I'm going to have a piece of bread. You just knocked yourself out of ketosis. It'll take you 3 days to get back. So if you're going to in any way break your keto fast, break your ketosis state of your brain, or I didn't mean that. If you're going to break your fast without breaking the ketosis state of your brain, do it with fat or do it with carbs. So sometimes on my fast, especially I once went 21 days, I would find myself kind of struggling, and I would put heavy cream in my coffee. Heavy cream, not milk, because it's fat and it would not break the ketosis. Milk, believe it or not, has a lot of carbs in it, a lot of sugar in it, lactose, and it will break your fast. All right, so I'm sure you guys probably have questions. Questions about this. Feel free to get them to me in any of the usual ways. I guess I have a new way now, which is through YouTube as well. Gosh, how am I going to keep track of all this? All right, have a great weekend. I'm going to keep testing here in my studio, keep learning the ropes, and I'm going to semi-commit. I'm going to mostly commit. I'm going to kind of pinky promise that I will be broadcasting officially on Monday, but even if I'm not, Even if I'm not, I will be broadcasting Monday on YouTube. So you guys can have the secret behind the scenes view if I do not announce it publicly. All right. Great. Thank you so much for being with me as I continue my fast. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday. All right. God bless you. Bye-bye.